What's up, guys? Here with you with FC Wonderkid. Here with my guy, Pedro. How are you?
Fine, man. Thanks. Excited for today's topic.
It's an interesting one, and if you clicked in the thumbnail, you know what's up. And it's the Barca transfer targets of next season, because this summer is going to be very interesting for Xavi and Barca, isn't it?
Yeah, and after last year's transfer window was a really tough one on Barca. Not only the summer one, also the winter one. They let go of Coutinho for 20 mil, the clause option, the clause. They sold Coutinho now. It's Aston Villa, so they lost like 120 mil on that business alone.
Fucked.
So it was a hard time for Barca fans, but we hope that we see them recover this summer.
But I'm just gonna give you, on my opinion, the winter transfer window, Barcelona was one of the best teams doing business, in my opinion, for what they got and for what they produced. Adama Traoré, Ferran Torres, Dani Alves. Every single player had a huge impact, and we cannot forget Aubameyang, which unbelievable for a free agent. He had to prove himself at Barca, and yeah, the best decision for him was to leave Arsenal, and Arsenal are doing fine without him. So
yeah, Alex, but I don't think I rely on those three to make an impact next season. I think Barca. It's kind of weird for me to look at Barca front three and see players like those.
Ferran.
Not Ferran. I think Ferran can have a good story at Barca in the future. He's still young. He's like 22. But for Aubameyang, he's almost close to the end of the line for his career. I think Barca also had bad luck with Agüero. We should not forget Agüero. Barca was supposed to count on Agüero this season. They didn't. Unfortunately, he had a heart problem. I hope he's doing all right now. But I don't know. I mean, Depay.
Bad deal.
Aubameyang. De Jong. I don't think they are Barca caliber players.
De Jong.
No, not Frankie De Jong. Luke De Jong.
Ah, sorry. I was like, whoa, that's bold.
No. Frankie has been there for 2 or 3 years, but I'm talking about Luke De Jong.
Luke De Jong.
Okay, although he has not been as bad as I would imagine. Like, for what he cost, it was pretty good acquisition.
Amazing.
Yeah, he performed. He saved Barca in 1 or 2 games where he scored crucial goals. So I think value for money wise, I think Luke De Jong was good enough.
Again, winter transfer window for me was unbelievable. You mentioned, I was gonna forget that Luke De Jong is costing Barca 25k a month. 25k a month, and if we compare with others, unbelievable the comparison. So Luke De Jong, but I don't think Barca are gonna rely on Luke De Jong with Xavi.
Luke De Jong's salary is like the privilege of defending Barca's colors,
Exactly. And Adama Traoré too. He rejected to go to Tottenham for 200k.
Man,
and he's earning 20k. But I don't think
I have mixed feelings about Adama Traoré.
I get you, but for 6 months, Adama did his job. No?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he went to Barca in a difficult moment, as we all know. But I mean, he's not, even in his game style, he's not a Barcelona kind of player.
I completely agree with
you. Even
you.
if he came from La Masia,
I completely agree with you.
It's kind of weird. He's a completely different player, very vertical, strong, pacey. But that's not the kind of player Xavi wants in his team, I think. Although we should not disregard the quality of his crosses.
I don't agree with what you said the last part.
Maybe. Okay, but coming from the bench, it's different from starting.
Exactly.
He's that kind of player that maybe in one tough match he can come in and change the game, okay? In one play, a super cross, who knows? He crosses the ball really well. It's one of his best attributes for me. It's Adama's crosses. We all know it from the Premier League, that combination Adama Jimenez, those crosses from Adama, the Jimenez header.
But Adama, you don't reckon he's gonna stay too?
I don't know. He can stay, but not to start, of course. And that's what I was going to start with.
Transfer target.
For me, for me, I wouldn't change anything in the midfield, to be honest, because I think Barca's midfield has a lot to grow. Okay, and that mix between youth and experience. For me, it's what Barca needs to aim for. And right now, it's perfect. So the midfield, I wouldn't change.
But what's your midfield, so, if you say no change?
For the time being. Okay, I would say Busquets for now.
Yes.
Pedri,
Yes.
Gavi.
But Busquets, Kessié is coming. Kessié is coming.
You think so?
Kessié is gonna come. I don't want to put him as a transfer target.
We also have Nico Gonzalez, who's gonna start playing a little bit more.
Mhm.
I hope he has playing time.
So you said those three, and that's why I wanted to ask you. There's no Frankie De Jong there, so you accept with the transfer targets that you're gonna suggest that Frankie De Jong departure is inevitable. You accept that?
No, I don't think so. Listen, for me, it's like passing the baton, okay? I think Sergio Busquets, as long as he can play, he will play. But eventually, this season, he will be passing the baton to Frankie De Jong. That's my personal opinion.
I think Laporta is going to get that money with Frankie because if there's an asset...
There's a need for cash as well, yeah.
If there's and we know, I'm going to suggest now with that, my first transfer target for Barca, and it's in the thumbnail. It must be the guy, the man, the myth, the legend, that can change everything. It's Lewandowski. Lewandowski, as Muller says. And yes, I understand why you were a bit iffy with Aubameyang. And for me, I think Aubameyang will have to accept the fact that he's on the bench if Lewandowski comes. And he's got like the 8 years at Bayern Munich, Lewandowski. He's got 19 trophies for Bayern Munich. He's got like more than 374, I think, goals, 70 assists. Like the impact is unbelievable of Lewandowski at Bayern. And it's a pity that we didn't see Lewandowski get that Ballon d'Or. That in my opinion, he deserved to get that Ballon d'Or. So yeah, he leaves Bayern now. And yeah, with XAVi, much better.
So just as a compliment of your arguments, Lewandowski 344 goals, 72 assists in 377 matches. I mean, that's more than 1 goal contribution per match, way more. So absolute legend, one of the best of all time in Bundesliga, for sure. He is top scorer for Bayern Munich ahead of Gerd Müller. I mean, he's an absolute legend. He can make a change for Barca. He's still well in time. I think players nowadays, they last much longer than they used to back in the days. And I think Lewandowski has a lot to offer, mainly to be that area reference that Barcelona has been lacking since Suarez left.
True. And my question is, if Barcelona manages to do the impossible for Manny and wins the Champions League, no debate, Ballon d'Or goes to...
Man, it should have been with Lewandowski for a long time ago now. I mean, he deserves it.
Lewandowski.
What can he do more to win a Ballon d'Or? You know?
And that for me is the main reason why he has to go to Barca, because he will not win the Ballon d'Or at Bayern Munich.
Because he won the Champions League already, and he didn't get the credit. I mean, the year he clearly deserved the Ballon d'Or, France Football said, this year no Ballon d'Or. What? There was football anyways. What's the problem with that? I mean,
completely agree with you.
I don't understand. For me, it's a nonsense decision to cancel that year's Ballon d'Or. And let us see, because for now Benzema, I think, is well on track to win this year. So
Benzema winning this year, Barca will have to answer the best way they can, and this is the pretty much the best one.
Like the last dance for Lewandowski to try and win the Ballon d'Or now. Like moving to Barca.
And two, like Lewandowski coming does say to me that Messi might have another year at PSG, and then I fully believe he will go to Barca. And yeah, Jorge Messi has arrived today at Barcelona, and he says, I hope to see my son one day playing back at Barcelona. So I feel like he'll fulfill his contract at PSG, and maybe he'll join forces with Lewandowski. Oh my days, that'll be insane.
We'll see what this summer brings. Maybe it can happen sooner than you're thinking.
True. I got a question with you with Lewandowski.
Well, you can say Lewandowski. We can all just assume
exactly.
And go for it.
It just sounds so well, but it's Dembele. Dembele won't stay, right?
I mean, when you look at Barca currently, they're like the stacks and piles of wingers and strikers.
True.
So of course, I think one or two might leave because it's impossible to have that amount of cash on the bench.
True.
For a club that's not that comfortable in regarding financial position. So yeah, I reckon that you were saying Frankie De Jong for that bag of cash. I say Dembele maybe.
Dembele free agent.
Yeah, he's
free agent.
Yeah, he's only his
free
last
agent.
year.
Free agent. And the thing here with Dembele too is he's the top in assists in La Liga. He's the top in assists. But the money that he's asking, I heard it was 30 million. 30 million. And that is money. The only teams that I can see pay that for him, maybe Newcastle and PSG. Those are the only two teams. But if I was Dembele, just to put it out there, I would go to Bayern Munich. I would go to Bayern Munich if I was Dembele personally. There's a vacancy. There's injured players that once they go to Bayern, they're never the same. They're much better. So I think that would be the best option. But staying at Barca.
Yeah, and also because if Lewandowski leaves Barca, it opens a spot for
for
a new reference to come. But to mention it, today Rui Pedro Brás, Benfica's director, was seen in Munich, and I wouldn't be surprised if Darwin Núñez went to Bayern Munich to replace Lewandowski.
How much money would they spend? Bayern Munich
are not like crazy spenders usually. They are really precise and accurate in what they do. But I mean, Darwin has the potential to become a legend. You know,
true.
That's the kind of player you expect to become a legend, and if he's well developed, if he works on his physique even further, like the crazy transformations we see at Bayern, he's a beast already. Just imagine if he moves to Bayern.
So that's solved if the Lewandowski issue for Bayern Munich. But let's see what's gonna happen. And yeah, so strikers, we both agree.
Yeah, that was one on my list as well. Robert Lewandowski.
So the second position that for me, XAVi needs to get done is the wingers. And my suggestion, you saw the. You know.
Can I go first on this one?
No worries.
Man, you were stealing all my names.
Rafinha.
Rafinha, of course, Rafinha. Just because it's not certain that will happen, okay? Because it depends on Leeds securing the Prem or getting relegated. Because if in case Leeds gets relegated, Rafinha has a release clause of 25 mil, and in that case, I think it's the perfect transfer for Barca. Sorry, I think it makes perfect sense. Rafinha has been balling in the Prem, 64 goals, 16 goals, 12 assists. For a winger in a struggling team like Leeds this year, it's not that bad. I mean, of course, the goals and assists are combined with this. And last year, Leeds were a much tougher opponent than they are this year. Also with Marcelo Bielsa.
Much better football, I agree.
Yeah, I think so. For me, Marcelo Bielsa is one of the coaches that puts their teams playing one of the most beautiful football in the world.
But he's the reason why they're there in the relegation battle.
Yeah, I know, but it kind of. But you cannot judge like last year's job and compare it with this year's job.
Exactly, he dipped. It's a two-edged sword.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. Look at Klopp in Dortmund.
Okay.
Dortmund last year. He left Dortmund in like 10th position.
Hey, yeah, but you can't.
It happens. I'm not questioning Klopp's quality. I'm just saying it happens. Like sometimes there are no explanation. Sometimes it's just lack of luck.
But I'm sure people, if you know that explanation of Klopp, what happened at Dortmund, there was tangles with players, no? Nothing? There was no tactic?
Are you sure that didn't happen at Leeds as well?
With probably Leeds, we all know Bielsa, and Bielsa is a guy to do quirky tactics. And the biggest problem with me of Leeds right now is their goal difference. And they were getting like 5-0 losses, 6-0 losses, 7-0. I don't know, not 7, but 6-0, 5-0 definitely. So like Liverpool were giving them huge wins. So I think Marcelo Bielsa, yes, he can play very good football, but it's that two-edged sword that...
Maybe he tried an all-out attack tactic against Liverpool, and when you do that against them, they just...
Didn't go well,
they don't show any forgiveness.
But Rafinha, so you really believe, even if they don't care?
No, I don't think so. Because if Leeds secures the Prem, Rafinha has a release clause of 75 million, you know. And I don't think Barca is that much in need of a winger. I think they are because, as I said previously and as I started this conversation, I don't think the wingers that are currently at Barca are not Barca caliber.
Priority winger.
You think so?
Yes. Creativity on the wing, priority. Because... I'll even say this. XAVi ball only got next level once, Pedri was in full ability, but Dembele, the moment that Dembele clicked was like, okay, we got the answers. And I really believe if we're going to see, like we said, Lewandowski, Pedri, No, Lewandowski, all performing top level. We obviously have to add Fati into the mix. We have to see Fati, Pedri, and Lewandowski going bold for us to see that Champions League dream that can happen.
Yeah, and you have in Ansu Fati more of a creative winger,
Yes.
but that
10.
doesn't happen with Ferran Torres. Ferran Torres is more of a vertical finisher winger. Okay, he's more of an interior striker than a winger itself. And yeah, Rafinha would bring that extra creativity, that extra touch, that one pass that may unlock a new play that no one sees, and Rafinha does that really well. And yeah, I think Rafinha would be a great choice, great value for money for Barca. A player that is still not on his peak. He's 25 years old,
Very true.
still young. So I think I expect him to peak in like 2-3 years maybe. So yeah, Barca taking advantage of that deal is crazy. And talking about Rafinha, like, come on, his transfers, like, he always appreciates where he goes, but he always leaves for the same amount almost. Like, from Sporting, he left for 20 mil. Like, to Rennes. Yeah. From Rennes to Leeds, like 25 mil as well, I think. Now 25 mil to Barca. What's happening?
Hopefully the fourth club. But to Vitória, though. He went to Vitória to Sporting.
Yeah, it was acquired for 6.5 mil.
So Sporting got the best out of it. So best out of Rafinha in terms of that transfer deals.
Yeah, in terms of profit, Sporting benefited the most of Rafinha.
But hopefully the next club, if it's Barca, I believe. But the player that I'm just going to hint out for Barca is Antony too. I know Antony would be a great fit for Barcelona in the future. He's got that silky dribbling. He's got that responsibility that he wants to have. Because, yeah, he's a star player in the making, Antony. And, yeah, I think he would look with open eyes at a XAVi ball rebuild.
And I already told you more than once that, for me, Antony is like the new Neymar. So if he went to Barca, maybe that prophecy will fulfill itself, just automatically.
If he works out at Barca, a ton of Brazilian fans would say, put him.
Talking about Brazil and Barca, just one thing I remembered. You know who's the agent of Rafinha? Rafinha's agent, you know?
Not sure.
He's a Brazilian, now Portuguese guy.
Deco. Yes.
Deco has great relationships with Barca, so he might make that deal happen sooner than expected.
That's actually a really good shout-out. That's a really good shout-out. So, people, if you believe, tell us down below. Do you believe Rafinha is going to go to Barca or Antony? Tell us your choice at the wing for Barcelona. So, I just wanted to say, I saw some news, and I was shocked that this rumor was around because I'd never expect this player to leave. And I'm going to say Koulibaly, I don't know if you saw that news, Kalidou Koulibaly to go to Barca. And I'm just going to say this. If Barca managed to get Koulibaly to pair up next to Ronald Araújo at the back, best center-back duo in the world, man, in form.
Would you discard Umtiti?
I wouldn't. If there was a quick sell button, I would do that on the dot. Why is he still there?
But I don't understand. Like, it's him. It's
Langley.
I mean, Barca is stacked of center backs. They're earning money and doing absolutely nothing.
Minguez, I'm like here and there. Eric Garcia, good.
Yeah, Eric Garcia was a good purchase. He was not playing at City. City is also stacked of great center backs. But yeah, would you start Ronald Araújo next to Koulibaly?
Oh, yes, I would.
Ahead of Piqué?
Ahead of Piqué.
That's a bold statement.
Ronald Araújo, for me, is right now ahead of Piqué. Much ahead. Piqué. Go to Shakira. Leave Ronald Araújo do what he's got to do at Camp Nou because, for me, in form. Ronald Araújo is slept with how good he's been playing. I'm going to say that.
Well, let me make you one more question. What do you reckon that Umtiti and Langley have markets?
Langley more. But Umtiti, the salary that he's getting, they even had to do a deal.
Yeah, for sure he's gonna lower his salary. But come on, like 2 years ago, he was not that bad for Barca.
I'd say
he was playing. He was like a starter for Barca.
I think Eric Garcia being there. Look, if Frankie De Jong stayed, I'd be hitting nonstop saying, "Go for the leaked, go for the leaked." But no, I still am like, I don't believe. It's not I don't believe. I saw the Koulibaly news surprised. So if Sky Italy is reporting that, Koulibaly might want to leave, or Barca really feel like they can get a tremendous deal for 30 million. Kalidou Koulibaly. That for me, that's an excellent transfer target.
Okay, yeah, for 30 million, value to money wise, you have. It's almost impossible to get better than Kalidou Koulibaly for 30 mil.
Exactly.
I mean, really hard. But talking about center backs, I also think that another good
value for the money.
Yes, thank you. A good value for money. Another good value for money transfer would be Nordi Mukiele. Just good for show. 2 reasons. First, he's a big guy, a big, fast guy.
Very good player.
He knows how to play with his feet. He's intense. The tackling is really amazing. And fast. He knows how to play on the right back. And that's a position that Barca has been struggling for a long time now. And I reckon that they could get him for around 30 million as well. So Nordi Mukiele, value for money, would be an amazing transfer for me because not only because he's good at a center back, but he can perform as well as a right back. He does a lot of assists as well.
I agree.
In Leipzig for a defender, okay? He has like 10 goals, 11 assists altogether since he's been at Leipzig, which is not bad for a guy his size.
Not bad at all.
So yeah, I would go for Nordi Mukiele.
And for his size too, I gotta add, elite dribbling for his size. Yeah. Great dribbling, very fast, pacey, and he's got another thing too, set pieces threat. Just like Konate, former teammate of him, and set pieces is a menace. Nordi Mukiele is a menace too in the set pieces. I like him a lot. And yeah, Mukiele, Gvardiol too. If any team in the world, Barca transfer targets, if Barca managed to get Gvardiol, that'd be great too. So yeah, I honestly like that shout a lot.
Yeah, and that comes as well as we all know Barca has been struggling financially, so it's kind of a good acquisition for the price they should be paying for him. And I think the extra quality he could bring to the team, as we know, we were speaking off the record before. I also think that he can bring even more tactically to the team because they can shift at any moment for him to play as a third center back on the right side if needed on a certain match. It's always good to have that option. It doesn't mean that it's going to happen.
That's true.
But man, options are worth money. It's like in finance, the same.
That's very true. That's very true. And leading up with options is money. I do believe this player is coming, but I don't know if it's I don't know. I don't want to believe that it's a starter. And I see that name of Azpilicueta, okay, coming to Barca. What?
Man, like I was going to say that guy. Like, really, I was going to ask you, what about Azpilicueta's situation? Because we mentioned Chelsea like a few weeks back that you said that he was leaving, and when today I was home and I was thinking maybe Azpilicueta could do something.
I think Aspi himself, Fabrizio Romano, once, I don't know if Fabrizio said, but definitely a reliable journalist, said that there was interest of Aspi to go to Barca. And like for me, he's a Spanish player. Often a lot of people don't see him as a Spanish player, you know. They think of like Ramos, all of those top players. They forget Aspi. So Aspi going to Barca, having a redemption, showing himself in La Liga, because before he went to Chelsea, Azpilicueta was at Marseille. So big up to Azpilicueta to manage to make an amazing career going from Liga to Chelsea, and now going to Barca. I feel like unbelievable career for such a Chelsea legend like Azpilicueta.
Yeah, and it makes absolute sense because he has the voice, he has the leadership, and if Barca is going to bring in some new talents, they're going to need also some voice in the locker room, and not just the likes of Sergio Busquets and Piqué. Azpilicueta would make a huge difference in Barca's locker room. And Dani Alves, yeah. Don't forget Dani.
No, that's why Dani Alves, like for me, that was a great signing. Not for how much he plays, but how much he brings to that locker room. And with us mentioning Mukiele, Aspi, Dest, Sergino Dest,
he's not performing as expected. That's why I suggested Nordi Mukiele, because sometimes if Barca is lacking a right back, they could play Mukiele at the right back. Yeah. He has amazing dribbling, he's fast, he's big. So it would be like a two-edged stick, as we say in Portugal. But continuing further, for the right back position, I'm always suggesting it, guys. I know I'm gonna be known for like being the guy that's always talking about Pedro Porro, but I don't mind. He's an amazing talent, and if you look at the current market, the current right-back market, there are not as much as quality options out there. So that's why I always insist in Pedro Porro, because the ones who snatch him are gonna make an amazing deal. Because it's not every day that you can have on your ranks. You can count on your ranks with probably a starter for Spain national team. Okay, and I really think he's gonna start for Spain.
And Spain has a huge print of
Barca. And to have that opportunity to sign like a starter for one of the biggest national teams ever.
Well,
like not currently, but name-wise,
definitely one of it. But I agree. I get where you're coming from. Definitely. And Luis Enrique would love the fact that Barca would be signing Pedro Porro.
Yeah, because you know sometimes it's hard to be a manager of a national team, because sometimes when you summon up someone from a team who has which has less credits internationally, such as Sporting that doesn't have the same credits as Barcelona, you know, sometimes you're misjudged and people say, why is he calling Pedro Porro? He plays in the Portuguese league. But he's really amazing, guys. He really deserves to that big up on his career and moving to a big world class club, I think.
And yes, agreed. And the stamp of Barca is in the national team. So tell us down below, who do you think Barca should get in that right back spot? Who did we miss with fullbacks?
But yeah, just to finish that, he reminds me a lot of Jordi Alba on the left. So for me, Pedro Porro on the right, it's like Jordi Alba on the left, because he's a winger that's not afraid to appear in finishing zones. He has the crossing ability. He has the skill. He has the pace. So yeah, I think it would be an interesting pair to see.
I like that. I like that suggestion. So I'm going to give my final suggestion of the Barca transfer targets. And I'm going to talk about the outs, just so I explain a bit this one in. And yes, you mentioned Coutinho briefly. He's leaving. Yes, 20 million, okay, instead of 40, which was the buyout.
But what a purchase for Aston Villa.
So that just shows that Barca has no leverage negotiating. They were the buyout option was 40. Aston Villa got him for 20. The negotiations must have been, we're not going to pay 40 for Coutinho. So, down, 20. Now, the other player is Griezmann. Griezmann is having a bit of trouble back at Atleti. And I don't think it's working out too well, okay? And I feel like Barca know that. And they are going to try, they should try,
I don't know,
in my opinion, to get Joao Felix. They should try to get Joao Felix. And Griezmann, it didn't work out. Try to offload him and try a new fresh start. I mean, but it's hard.
Joao Felix has a contract until 2026, I reckon.
Yes, so 2026.
It's kind of hard for Barca would have to pay those big bucks to get Joao Felix right now.
That's why I mean, like, but again, it's a transfer target,
because it's not only snatching one of Atletico's best players. It's like reinforcing their rival with one of the best prospects in the world.
Completely agree with you. But it's just because of those Barca meetings with the Atleti. They've been quite, I don't know, but the skepticism is real and the interest is real too. Laporta himself has mentioned Joao Felix. So they're looking, and if they have the money eventually, I think Joao Felix would be the man, the myth, the legend that could change things up for Barca. Because if I legit think if Joao Felix played for Barcelona, people would be every single day saying he's a world-class player. He's a world-class player. But because he's at Atleti, he can't show himself the same way.
Yeah, it doesn't favor him. The game style of the Atletico's, the Simeone game style doesn't favor him.
Yeah.
But that has an advantage for him. He will learn how to defend. And that's important for every single team he's going to play on.
It's true. That is true. It's like Vitinha, right? Like playing with
Sergio Conceição. Yeah, exactly. He's learning other parts of his game that he didn't know until that point, you know.
It's true, but it can create a very different player that we are missing out. You know what I mean too? He can be if Felix would be with Guardiola, maybe
he will lose what makes him special now.
Exactly. So let's just hope that he learns more than he loses with Simeone, and the next place he goes, if it's Barca with XAVi, That's why I like it. Because there's not too many clubs that or too many styles of play with managers.
Yeah, I would say City, but now City has snatched Haaland. So
But imagine if Felix went to City now with Haaland, Foden, De
Bernardo
Bruyne.
Silva, oh my God.
Br-
There wouldn't be any space for those
De
guys.
Bruyne.
Like you would see, not even on the bench, on the stands, like one Bernardo Silva per week or
Mahrez, like
Yeah.
I love Mahrez, but he'd be completely in the mud in this, you know.
Mahrez today must be mad. Man. He gave Liverpool hope.
So that's it. Like Mahrez, imagine if Mahrez was at Barca. Imagine if Mahrez was at Barca. You know what I mean? People would be saying Mahrez is a top 5 player in the world right now. Type beats.
And that's why Barca need Rafinha as well. It's like the same type of player as Mahrez, like that left-footed, more or less. I understand, but like that unlocking pass that he does for me.
I get it. And Mahrez, I get it, but yeah, they have a lot to prove still.
You know, they both of them do
Mahrez
the same when they are on the right wing. They do that play where like
Cut
Arjen
inside.
Robben style of play, you know, where they
I
cut
agree.
inside and try the shot. Or maybe they're kind of unpredictable because sometimes instead of the shot they go for the final third pass.
But Mahrez better. Mahrez
But
much better.
that's undoubtable. But
Ah,
we'll
okay,
see.
okay.
Well, I was just saying that they're the same kind of player, but we'll see who's better because maybe you just don't see it because Rafinha is now
Sheesh.
battling for relegation.
I agree, but I still.
It's different to perform in the team that's accustomed to win.
Don't
then
go
it is-
too bold, my guy. Don't go too bold, my guy.
Don't you think that Rafinha would be more?
I think Rafinha is definitely
No,
gonna.
if he moved to Barca, he would be more. People would notice him more.
I wouldn't say better than Mahrez.
No, but he would be more noticeable.
I agree. Definitely.
course.
Definitely more
So
noticeable.
and you never know. Like Rafinha is 25. Mahrez is already 29, I think.
Yeah, he's in his 30s, I think. But
Okay, yeah. So
no, but I
he still
just.
has time.
I-
So like when Mahrez had that wonder season at Leicester, he was the same age Rafinha is now.
But I agree. But let's just hope that Rafinha can get to that stage because even with Mahrez, I just get really sensitive because for me, he's one of the most underrated wingers out there for the output he's putting. I see loads of people mentioning Man City this, Man City that, but they forget Mahrez in the Champions League. And okay, today wasn't the best day for Mahrez, but
I like Bernardo better than Mahrez.
okay,
Much better. But it's different
but he's
because
a better
Bernardo
player.
can,
But he's a
Bernardo-
better player.
I think so.
He's
yeah.
definitely.
But
I
Bernardo
don't
can play in the middle. It's different.
See,
You-
I don't think people think he's a better player. No, I don't think people say Mahrez is better than Bernardo. I just feel like, Bernardo Silva just has so much
But
that he can
for
add.
me, Bernardo Silva is he's one of the most underrated players out there.
And remember when Messi last summer was gonna leave Barca supposedly,
Yeah, I remember.
and the
that.
deals of City
It wa-
to
yeah.
swap with Bernardo Silva.
The media mentioned that he was going to move to Barca. Yeah, and it would be a great fit for me. I think
That
Great
would
fit.
be and
Bernardo Silva, amazing fit.
and I've got some news
And yeah,
saying
Bernardo Silva said that it might be his last season at Man City.
exactly
Like a few months ago. So
And-
we shall not forget that. He can also make a move to Barca this
And I'm
year.
gonna say this: Bernardo Silva, in my opinion, is gonna move to La Liga. But this is the Barca transfer target.
Barca or Atletico.
Exactly. I believe Atletico have everything to get Bernardo Silva.
But will he lose some things of his game style?
I think a lot to Simeone. Simeone will have to mix things
And
up with
yeah,
him.
and that's interesting because Bernardo physically doesn't seem like a guy who defends a lot.
Oh.
But Bernardo defending is a different kind of beast.
Very
People
true.
just underrate him, undervalue him because he's a little guy. He's
completely
not tall.
agree.
But he runs like hell. He's constantly one of the guys that runs the most on the pitch, always 13 or 14 kms. It's crazy, man. He does that every match.
And
Okay?
if he went to Barca though, he'd
Space
play
is
on that wing.
ridiculous.
He'd play on that wing. So it would be you'd
They
have
wouldn't need Rafinha then.
But they would have like Busquets, they'd have Pedri, Gavi, and then they'd have Bernardo Silva coming inside too, working
yeah.
with Gavi and Pedri. That would be
and like
insane.
maybe switching from the 4-3-3 to a 4-4-2 temporarily when he comes inside it would be
on
amazing.
with Lewandowski there
And Aubameyang on
on the bench.
On the bench, you think? You reckon if that happens, I think a 4-4-2 in a 4-4-2, Aubameyang and Lewandowski could play together.
Yes. If they I completely agree with you. So Dembele, We only just need Dembele with those assists there,
And
but
what about the other guys, Ferran Torres and Sufati?
I
So much talent, man.
So people, put down below what is your lineup and what is your transfer targets for Barcelona next season, and do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and like this video at FC Wonderkid. Go Bold, community.
Let us know, guys. Go Bold.